Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. We're diving into the world of nurse sharks today.
Nurse sharks?
Yeah, these guys are super interesting,
Yeah.
and we've got some really cool info on them.
Very cool.
So we're going to try to distill it down for you guys and pick out the most important bits.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So to start off, most people, when they think of a shark,
Right.
they think of, like a...
Jaws.
Jaws, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a great white or something like that.
Right. Some big, scary predator.
Yeah, and a nurse shark is really not that.
No, not at all.
So to start off, the common nurse shark is they're part of the Ginglymastomatidae family.
Like some mouth.
Which is that's a mouthful, yeah.
Yeah.
Which basically means that they're slow-moving
Right.
bottom dwellers.
Bottom dwellers. And
They kind of just chill.
yeah, they're called sleeper sharks sometimes.
Yeah, sleeper sharks, that's a good one.
Yeah, which kind of gives you an idea of how they roll. Yeah.
Their speed, yeah. And they've got, physically, they have the two rounded dorsal fins,
Yeah.
rounded pectoral fins,
Yeah.
and a really broad head.
Kind of a flat head.
Yeah.
Like they've been sleeping on it
Yeah, exactly.
too long.
And they like to hang out in
warm
waters, yeah.
tropical and subtropical.
The Eastern Pacific, Western Atlantic, and the Eastern Atlantic.
Wow, all over the place.
Yeah, they get around.
Yeah.
And
The females are actually a little bigger too.
the females are a little bit bigger, yeah. So they average
7.5 to 9 feet.
7.5 to 9 feet, while the males are
Still smaller.
a little smaller.
Yeah.
And when they're born, they're actually spotted.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then as they get older, they turn to like a light or dark brown.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
And
They've got really interesting mouths too.
Yeah.
They're full of these rows of small serrated teeth.
yeah,
And that's perfect for what they eat.
exactly.
Crushing those shells.
All the crustaceans and stuff.
Yeah, crustaceans, mollusks, anything with a hard shell, they can crunch right through it.
And they can live for a while too.
Yeah, up to 24 years.
Yeah, 24 years.
That's a long time for a shark.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
And what's really interesting about them is they're really important for research.
Oh yeah.
Scientists study them to learn more about shark physiology and behavior.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how much we still don't know about sharks.
Exactly.
So
There's more than one type of nurse shark, though.
Oh yeah, there are.
The term kind of covers like a few different types.
Exactly.
It's not just the common nurse shark.
All right, so let's talk about the gray nurse shark.
Okay, the gray nurse shark.
This one's found all over the world, like Australia, North America, South Africa, and Japan.
Wow, they really get around too.
They do, and they get big.
How big are we talking?
Like 3.2 meters long, and they can weigh up to 230 kilograms.
Oh wow, that's like 3 times the size of a common nurse shark.
Yeah, they're pretty huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
And they've got a really interesting development process too.
Yeah, like the babies develop for about 9 months in the uterus.
Like humans.
Like humans.
That's so cool.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And they've got a pretty varied diet too, right?
Yeah, they eat lobster, crabs, squid, all sorts of fish.
Yeah, they're not picky eaters.
No, not at all.
And they can live even longer than the common nurse shark.
Yeah, they can live up to 30 years in the wild.
30 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And, they're also called the sand tiger shark.
The sand tiger shark.
Yeah, because they look kind of scary.
Yeah, they do.
They got those sharp teeth.
Yeah, and they stick out even when their mouth is closed.
Yeah, they look like they're ready to bite.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
They're actually pretty docile.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not very aggressive.
So they're all bark and no bite.
Pretty much.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how we judge creatures based on how they look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
Or a shark by its
By
teeth.
shark by its teeth, yeah.
So just to recap.
Okay.
We've got the common nurse shark,
Huh?
the sleeper shark,
Right.
and then we've got the gray nurse shark,
Also known as the sand tiger shark.
also known as the sand tiger shark.
Right.
And they're very different.
Yeah, they're different in size, where they live, and even their personality.
Yeah.
Even though they're both called nurse sharks.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it is.
I like that.
So to leave you guys with something to think about,
Okay.
if a creature as scary looking as the gray nurse shark can be so gentle,
Right.
what other assumptions do we make about the natural world that might not be true?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so
What do you think?
just something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. See you next time.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.